Sick and tired of tossing and turning through the night? Well, we are reclaiming our sleep and sanity with naturopathic Dr. Joyce Johnson. Thanks very much for joining us. Welcome to the show. What can cause restless nights?
Well, we call this term sleep maintenance insomnia. So what it is, when you wake up in the night and then you can't fall back asleep. And a lot of people suffer from this. So they'll fall asleep and be relatively easy. And then they wake up in the night and they just cannot fall back asleep. So there are a lot of different things that happen during the day that you want to avoid that can cause this, things like, we'll go through some of the do's and don'ts, but there's a lot of different things that maybe you can change just in your life to help alleviate this problem.
Like what? Sorry, like what are some of the things that you should be doing to prepare for sleep?
Well, you want to make sure that you have a nice sleep environment set up, right? So you're not doing any sort of high strenuous activities prior to bed. You're trying to limit your caffeine intake. I always say, if you have trouble sleeping, don't have anything with caffeine after 4 p.m. And then as you're getting closer and closer to sleep, you're starting to, the strenuous activities have died down. Maybe you're dimming lights. Maybe you're setting yourself up to have a healthy sleep environment. And once you've fallen asleep and then you've waken up through the night, one thing that you can do is that I suggest is don't stare at the clock, right? If you wake up in the night, and it can create a lot of anxiety if you're constantly looking at that clock, maybe you're going to turn the clock away from you to help alleviate that anxiety around sleep. But then there's other things that you can try to do, right? So if you're waking up in the night, they always say, the experts will tell us that you don't want to lie in bed for more than 20 to 30 minutes. If you find you're not going back to sleep, that's the opportunity to maybe you're going to read a book. Maybe you're going to listen to some soothing music. You're going to do something that's going to try to maybe make you drowsy again.
Now, I notice you've got food in front of you. How important is what you eat at supper time or dinner time in preparing for a night of nice sleep?
Well, what you can do, like I said, after you've taken away some of the stimulants, you can focus on food that help you to sleep better. So melatonin is a hormone that's made in your pineal gland, and you can naturally find it in foods like grapes. You can find it in tomatoes. You can find it in cherries. So maybe even having some tart cherry juice before bed. You can have maybe a bowl of cherries, and if it's out of season, you can find frozen cherries. So that can help improve sleep. If you do want to have a hot beverage, green tea is also really excellent because it contains L-theanine, which is an amino acid that helps to calm your nervous system. And then, focus on foods. We hear about turkey all the time around Thanksgiving that makes you sleep, right? Because of the 5-hydroxytryptophan in it. And chicken is the same. And that can also be found in some seeds like pumpkin seeds and sunflower seeds. And for those people that really are struggling with that, maybe you fall asleep or you have trouble falling asleep, you wake up, you can't go back to sleep, you can look to things with melatonin. And what I've always advised people is that there's different types of melatonin. So there's like what we call a bilayer. So you get a little bit of melatonin when you first go to sleep, and then a next layer will give you a little bit more of a sustained release to help to keep you to sleep. So that's one thing that you can do with your diet or with a supplement to help improve your sleep.
Now, we got about 30 seconds left. What should people, in terms of time, be aiming for in a good night's sleep?
Well, you want to get between 7 to 9 hours of sleep. That's what's recommended for an adult. So I know for some people, and I know for some people that are working really early in the morning, like you guys, you want to, some people will break it up and have a nap in the afternoon. But I really highly advise if you can get your 7 to 9 hours sleep in a night, that is the best. If you're having a nap in the afternoon, for most people, what I'll tell them is not to nap beyond 20 minutes, 20, 30 minutes maximum, because sleep is like a pressure cooker. If you relieve that pressure by taking off and having more naps and longer naps, when you get time, when bedtime comes around, your pressure is not very high to sleep, so it becomes more difficult. So you want to set up that day.
Good advice. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it. All the best.
Thank you for having me.